Welcome to SeeBeyond. Ever wondered how your favorite chocolate is made? It's a common curiosity, isn't it? A shared love for this sweet indulgence, yet a shroud of mystery around its creation. Well, brace yourselves, because we're about to dive into the delectable world of chocolate making. We'll journey from the tropical rainforests to the intricate processes in the factories. So grab a bar of your favorite chocolate and prepare to be enlightened. By the end of this video, you'll be a chocolate making expert, at least theoretically. The journey of chocolate begins with a cocoa tree. Let's take a stroll down the chocolate lane, shall we? Born from the bosom of Mother Nature, the cocoa bean is the humble beginning of our beloved chocolate. It's not just any tree that can bear this magical bean. The cocoa tree, or Theobroma cacao, thrives in the world's tropical climates, nestled within 20 degrees of the equator. Picture this: the rainforests of West Africa, the lush landscapes of South America, and the tropical terrains of Southeast Asia. That's where these trees find their home. The cocoa tree is quite the diva. It demands a stable climate, ample rainfall, and the perfect balance of sun and shade. Now, the cocoa pods. These are the fruit of the cocoa tree, and it's inside these pods that our precious beans reside. It's crucial to wait until these pods are ripe. Harvest them too soon, and you might as well kiss your chocolate dreams goodbye. So, it turns out chocolate doesn't grow on trees, but it does start there. Once the cocoa pods are ripe and ready, it's time for harvest. Now, this isn't your typical backyard garden harvest. Oh no, we're talking about a delicate operation. Workers must carefully cut the pods from the trees to avoid damaging the precious cargo inside. Each pod is then split open, revealing the cocoa beans nestled within a sweet, pulp-like substance. But we're not done yet. Next comes fermentation, a crucial step that might just be the unsung hero of chocolate making. The beans are left to ferment in the pulp for about 5 to 7 days. This is where the magic happens. The heat and microbes at work during fermentation transform the bitter beans into something truly special. They develop the deep, rich flavors we associate with chocolate. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? Such a complex and meticulous process, all for these tiny beans. But let's be honest, these aren't just any beans. So much effort for such small beans, but oh, what beans they are! After fermentation, the cocoa beans are dried, roasted, and ground. Now let's delve into these fascinating processes. Drying is the first step, and it's as straightforward as it sounds. The beans are spread out under the sun to dry naturally, a process that usually takes about a week. It's a bit like sunbathing, except without the factor 50 and the need for a good book. Next up is roasting. This is where the magic really starts to happen, and our humble cocoa bean begins its transformation into the chocolate we all know and love. Roasting is a delicate process, requiring a careful balance of temperature and time to bring out that rich, chocolatey flavor. It's not unlike roasting a good Sunday roast, you might say, but with a much sweeter outcome. Finally, we come to grinding. The roasted beans are placed in a grinder and, you've guessed it, ground down. They're pulverized into a thick, gooey paste known as cocoa liquor. Not the kind of liquor you'd pour into a cocktail, mind you, but equally as intoxicating if you're a chocoholic. And there you have it, from fermented beans to cocoa liquor in 3 simple yet intricate steps. Each stage plays a crucial role in developing the flavor profile of the final product, that divine substance we call chocolate. Who knew there were so many steps before we even get to the chocolate we recognize? Indeed, it's a labor of love, but one that's certainly worth every bean. Now we come to the final stages of the process: conching and tempering. First up, conching. This stage is where the chocolate gets its velvety texture and divine flavor. How does it work, you ask? Well, it's quite fascinating. The chocolate is continuously ground and kneaded in a conche, a vessel named after its shell-like shape. The process can take anywhere from a few hours to a few days. Yes, you heard right, days! The friction and heat from conching help to reduce the size of the cocoa particles and allow the cocoa butter to coat each one evenly. This not only smooths the texture, but also mellows and develops the flavor. After conching, we move on to tempering, the final step in our chocolate-making journey. Tempering is a carefully controlled process of heating, cooling, and then gently reheating the chocolate. This gives the chocolate its glossy finish and that satisfying snap when you break it. Tempering also ensures the chocolate has a stable crystal structure. Why is this important? Well, it means your chocolate won't melt in your hand and will instead melt perfectly in your mouth. And there you have it. The conching and tempering processes are where the magic really happens, turning humble cocoa into the delectable treat we all know and love. And voila, from tree to treat we have chocolate. So there you have it, the journey of a cocoa bean to a chocolate bar. It all begins under the tropical canopies, where cocoa trees give birth to the star of our show. The cocoa bean. These little pods of potential are harvested by hand, a labor of love, if you will. Once gathered, they're cracked open to reveal the beans, which are then left to ferment. A bit like a fine wine, the beans need time to develop their flavor. After fermentation, it's time for a sunbath. The beans are laid out to dry under the warm sun, another crucial step in flavor development. Now this is where things heat up. Quite literally, the dried beans are roasted to perfection, coaxing out those rich chocolatey notes we all know and love. From there, it's off to the grinder where beans are transformed into a smooth liquid chocolate. But we're not done just yet. The chocolate then undergoes conching, a process of heating and cooling and careful mixing. This step is key to achieving that silky smooth texture that melts in your mouth. Finally, the chocolate is tempered, a process that ensures it will have that satisfying snap when you break off a piece. It's then molded into the familiar bars we see in stores. The next time you bite into a chocolate bar, remember all the steps it took to get to you. Bon appetit!